Howdy, folks. We're going to talk about the Lab 2 assignment. This is the first chance you folks are going to be using the GitHub repository, that workflow here. So for the discussion portion of the lab that you're actually getting points for, you're going to go and give someone directions and say, this is the steps you need to do in order to complete this assignment. And then you're going to reply to someone by following their steps and letting them know if it worked or not and giving them some sort of constructive feedback here. So don't actually go and write the code to start. Go and do the directions on how to go and do this process, and then follow someone else's directions. So I'm going to go to assignments. I'm not going to do the discussion post. I'm just going to come right to the assignment here. You go to the assignment, and I just want to show this Git workflow because I know this is new for you folks if you haven't had one of my classes before. So you go to this classroom GitHub link. We'll click that one, and it's going to ask you, do you want to accept the assignment? You say, yes, we want to accept the assignment. It says, okay, it might take a minute. It really takes like 5 seconds or less. Go ahead and refresh the page, and you should have a repository link. So this new repository that got created is a private repository that you'll have access to and I'll have access to, which is perfect. And that's what we're going to do and use this for our projects and our labs. So I'll see it's CIS 2454, summer 2022, lab 2, Eric Janeski. So the Eric Janeski part will be your username. Will get replaced there. I think I've had a little too much coffee, folks. I'm sorry. So I'm going to click on code and then say open with GitHub Desktop. If you haven't downloaded the GitHub Desktop client yet, it'll tell you need to go download it. And you can go download it here. And then clone will go and make a copy. Remember, Git is just a glorified file watcher. So all it's going to do is make a folder on my computer with the contents here from the lab 2. Now what I'm going to do in NetBeans, I'm going to come back and do a new project. And I want a PHP application. I don't want the htdocs folder. So I'm going to go browse and find my GitHub folder. So that should be in my documents folder here. And then, in GitHub 2454. I've got too many of these in here, I'm sorry. Lab 2. Right, so I found the CIS 2454, summer 2022, lab 2, and then again, I'm going to put one more folder in here, just call it lab 2, just to make that warning go away, and I'll call this one lab 2 for the project name. So we'll say lab 2, I mean, it should be fine without that warning here. It just says, hey, it's not empty. It's okay. That's probably more typing than you need to do anyway. So we'll just leave it there. We'll say next. Now this part's important, right? We need to change the port number if you changed ports, so 5080 for me. If you didn't, don't bother, you don't have to. But then you need to make sure we're copying files to htdocs. We're going to change that to be lab 2. So I want to copy everything to xampp htdocs, my folder lab 2, so that I can get at my project here in the lab 2 folder. We go next, and finish. Now we actually have a project up and running here, and we can take a look, and we should get, now there's no default file right away because we already had this git ignore in the readme file. So I'm going to go add a new PHP file. We'll call this index.php, and we'll just echo, I don't know, hello world, just to see if it's going to work here. And we'll run that. You technically don't need the rest of all that HTML stuff, but oops, it did not go to the right path. What happened here? Let's see. So it said not found, but the URL looks really bad. That doesn't look like the right URL here. So go to your project properties here, and we're going to take a look at the run configuration. Oh, that's what it is here. This URL I forgot to change. So it's lab 2. I'm going to go to lab 2 for that. Okay. Now let's give that a shot. See if it runs. We go to lab 2. It loads the index.php file, and we see hello world. Life is good so far. So those are the steps you're going to take for the Git process, and then when you're actually done with the lab assignment, there's actually some code you need to write here. You'll go and commit all your files here. You should see your PHP files. Anything else is well and good. We'll say lab 2 started. When you're done, you can say it's done, that sort of thing. Commit and push, and then you're going to go out to view on GitHub. That'll launch the repository website again. And you can make sure that you can see your code on GitHub. If you can see your files on GitHub, then I'll be able to see your files on GitHub. Now, I know it says Java template here. I'm sorry. We use the same template for PHP and Java. The ignore is basically the same for us, so sorry about that. But we use NetBeans, so it picks all that up. But if you can see your code here, I'll be able to see it here, and you can take this URL and turn it in for the assignment so that I know you're able to get the GitHub workflow going, because that's what you're going to have to do for Project 0. So this one's a practice. We're going to have that discussion so you can give the directions. So the idea is you watch it once, you do it once, and you teach someone once. And then you're pretty good at doing this. So you're going to watch it, you're going to watch me do it, and then you're going to try it, and you're going to write the directions for it, and then you're even going to follow someone else's directions and see if it worked as well. Okay? All right, folks, I'll see you in the next video.